What's up? What's up? We are finally on the last episode of Unpack, and I would like to take this time to officially thank myself for being so courageous, to just step out of my comfort zone and share with you my most vulnerable moments. And I would like to thank my production team, Jerry and Jibril, and the whole of AIM that have brought my vision to life. This is from everything from the teaser video that you guys loved on my Instagram. If you haven't watched it yet, please check me out on Instagram and see what we did for that teaser because my favorite video yet. I would also like to thank my parents, my family, and my friends for all the support, all the words of encouragement. And I would officially want to thank my audience, you guys, the people who have listened to me throughout the years, the people who have given me time and space to be myself, and for all the beautiful feedback and encouraging messages that you all have been sending me. Like, yo, I'm even getting emails. Like, I got a fun email the other day and it started with Samantha, thank you for your podcast. And you know what? That is very special. And I'm here to say it. We are done with season 1.
For the longest time, it did feel like my sad was more sad than the usual sad. When it rained, it definitely poured. Consider this podcast a love letter from me to you. Let's unpack.
In this episode, I would like to talk about some of the things that I have learned, like just throughout my life. Some of the stories that I've already shared have a lot of like learnings, and I just wanted to put them like in a more systematic way, and then we can just like talk about them. I believe this journey of me as Samantha Nyakoe unpacking has been very special for me. I think it's a moment of liberation, just like removing the attachments towards like experiences that you've had that have brought me feelings of shame and so much anxiety over the years. So I am very proud of this moment, and I would love to like just say some of things that I have learned in this process that I call my life. My first lesson, I feel like my first lesson, and these are not my lessons, these are things I wish I knew some of these things, like from way back. So this is gonna be like in a song. I don't know if you guys know this song. The song goes, the older I get, the more that I see my parents and heroes, they're just like me. Loving is hard, it don't always work. Oh, just something not to get hurt. I couldn't be young, but now I know sometimes it's better to let someone go. You know the song, you know that song. And I feel like that song taught me something very important, especially because growing up and just holding to the fact that I feel like I have like some trauma, some childhood trauma. When I listen to that song, it reminds me that my parents are actually humans. And maybe this is just to address that even with me expressing like my emotions and me stating that this and this is what happened, and I've also expressed like some of the ways that I felt like my parents did not show up for me. I would love to state that I was really coming from a place of love, and also I was coming from a place of love for myself. Like I just want to know what is happening. And I only realized like after now the first few episodes and people's feedback that this podcast is actually bigger than me. It's actually not about me. It's about me using myself as a vessel to talk about some of these things that so many people are going through. Your self-worth does not lie in your experiences. And I think I wish I knew this. I wish I was taught this, like, just growing up, like when you fail, when things happen to you, that it doesn't really, like, you don't really have to carry it like a badge of honor. Like, you don't have to let it weigh you down, and you can just let experience be like just that experiences, just learn and move from them. They don't really have to give you a title or like make you be something. And in regards to like self-worth, I feel like You don't have to be what has happened to you. You can always be anything you want to be. But with that said, I would like to insist that most of the things that happen in your life are influenced by you. You are the main character and you are the one writing the story. So be careful. Not all characters that you let into your life are supposed to be there. So it's very important for you to know that you are in control of your life. Yes. Friends come and go. And oh, this is actually like this is a tough pill to swallow because I've lost friendships. I've lost people that I have shared so many, like experiences with, and we've just become strangers. And it's one of those things that you just accept. I feel like adulting is just accepting that, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it doesn't work. But in regards to friendships and like letting friends go, I would also love to like insist that you should be able to delegate roles in your friendships. I feel like if I learned this from the word go, especially with I think my friendship breakup, one thing I noticed is I really like she was my friend for everything. She was my friend when I was happy, she was my friend when I was sad, she was my friend when other friends were not there. Like she was my friend and we would do so many things together. Like if we're going somewhere, we have to go, me and her, we have to do things together. And after the relationship was over, I really felt like, oh my God, I probably burdened this person with so many of my problems. I should have probably just, like delegated, and maybe it would have been easier to like deal with the breakup and like everything that came with it. So delegating in friendships is actually very important, and it's actually good for your mental health, and also it's good for the mental health of the other person, and also it helps with expectations and things like that. This is probably my mantra. Like, there is so much power in vulnerability. There's so much power in you sitting down with yourself and accepting that this is what life has given you and this is what you're going through, and then trying to process those emotions and also sharing. I feel like there's so much power in just sharing and not hiding your vulnerability and speaking up for yourself and talking about your life experiences and also owning them. Like, especially the owning them. Don't let them shame you, do not let them put you down. There is so much power in you owning your stories and also sharing. It might help the next person, like what I'm doing here, Yes. Something I wish I knew was what people mean when they say holding space for people. I think I recently learned this actually, and it's this period where I am going through a heartbreak. I'm so hurt, and I remember it was a friend's celebration, and we're celebrating this person, and I remember being like in that space. I was just like, oh my God, like they're so happy, like I can tell they're so happy, and I can like it feels like I can't relate. Like I don't understand. Like how are they so happy and how am I so sad? And I remember going back home and I was just like, I was opening up and to someone and I was telling them, yeah, it was a good day, but they were so happy and I was wondering why I was not feeling happy. Like I was not happy, like but they were so happy. And this person made me understand that it's not even about like it's like she was just like, oh, but they're supposed to be happy. You guys were celebrating, and it like you shouldn't feel bad for like what's the word, for feeling sad in this situation, but you should be able to like hold space for them and allow them to be happy. And now what I think that looks like is the fact that I showed up for the party despite being like in my sad state, and like, and I tried to like blend in with the rest of the people. It's just that now whilst in that environment, I was really battling with myself and feeling like, oh my God, why am I sad? Am I the negative energy in this space? Like, why am I so sad? Why am I not able to just be like, oh yeah, this is a happy environment, but also I also needed to hold space for myself. Yeah. But holding space, that's when I realized what holding space meant. And also during this process of me going through like a heartbreak, I have found myself like calling my friends and in the different stages, like the different stages of like when you're in denial and then now you come to acceptance and like it takes, it's like a long period of time. So in these different stages, my friends have really held space for me, and I think they showed me what holding space for someone looks like. Because when the time came and I was just like, oh, by the way, girls, I'm out of that place, they were just like, oh, we're outside, okay, we're outside, like like we went, like, one of the most beautiful parts of this breakup is the fact that I have gone through the breakup with very lovely people around me, people who've held me down, people who've listened to me talk about, like my love, like, and how I felt and how hurt I am. And they really held space for me. So I believe it is very important to learn how to hold space for people and literally meet them where they are. It's very beautiful, and it's a lovely thing to have in friendships when you're able to accommodate other people and what they're experiencing in their lives. So thank you to all my friends for teaching me that during this season of my life. Another thing I wish I knew, I wish I knew that self-development is a journey and not a destination. And what I mean by this, I recently started doing therapy, and I think this is like my first time being very consistent with therapy. I have tried it before in uni, because in our uni they used to offer, I think, free therapy sessions. So I did try therapy in uni, and then now came out, and then I was just like, you know what, like, now life doing what it's doing right now, I went back to therapy. One of the things that now shocked me when I went back to therapy was, oh my god, I thought I have my, like, I thought I have my stuff together, like I thought I have my shit together. And then all of a sudden I come back and I'm just like, oh, so this is what is affecting me right now. I'm dealing with, self-abandonment. Like now, I knew I had childhood trauma, and I knew there was this thing that happened, and this series of events that have affected me a certain type of way. But now when it comes to adulting and in my 27 years of age, is when now I kind of understand that I didn't just need to know, I now needed to work on it. Like, it's not all about knowing. It's a process of now trying to heal. It's practicing every day to like love yourself. It's showing up to the gym. It's looking like a lot of things right now. But I really thought at some point, I really thought that I was better than everyone. I thought that I know my stuff. I talk about these things. I talk about my childhood trauma all the time. So what do you mean that I don't know what's wrong with me? And so it's been very humbling just to know that the process is like, it's a journey, it's not a destination. I don't think there's anyone who's like 100% okay. And the fact that we have to show up for ourselves like every other time is actually so crazy. So I think what that should tell you is you should challenge yourself. Like, even with people, like, I've been seeing comments, people are just commenting, they're relating, and they're telling me, like, I've had people telling me, I didn't even know I had childhood trauma, but now that like, that's not even the end, guys. That's not the end. Like, you have now to dig and almost like, like, deal with that. Because I am also learning that even on the first episode where I talked about my childhood traumas, that you can actually deal with, things like the father wound, the mother wound, without having to like take your mom or your dad to like therapy. Like, it's a wound that you can actually soothe on your own and like heal on your own. Yes, you can like have conversation around it with your parents, but healing is it's a solo journey. It's very much solo. And I when I learned that even with issues like that, you could actually like just come heads on and deal with them, but it needs to be like a one-man journey. Yeah, that is very, I was shocked. I was shocked, but trust in the process, and it gets better every other day. I mentioned this when I was talking about like the boys that I've ever loved, and I feel like that's when I started learning the art of letting go. But in my in my today, I feel like that's the most important thing someone needs to learn, like just finding ways to let go. The past weeks I found myself, not the past week, the past months, because I have been dealing with my heartbreak for quite a minute before like I even like told my audience that, oh my god, I'm actually going through like a heartbreak. And I only did that after now the emotional roller coaster of things was over, and I was just like, you know what, I can pick myself up, I know what is happening, and I'm able to now like own it. I'm able to just be like, oh, this is what I'm going through, and I'm able to share it. But one of the things that I remember really struggling with now during that period was letting go. Like, I'm just like, why? You know, like just the attachment itself, you know. But going through therapy, and in therapy, like I like the fact that it's like a you show. Like in therapy, it's always about you. Even when you try to tell them, but this person did, they're just going to always be like, wait a minute, Samantha, why do you care about that? What did you do? What is your participation? So I like that it's like a mirror. We leave it at that. It's like a mirror. So the art of letting go is something that I want to be an expert in. I feel like I have I have had to let go of a lot of people this year, and I have had to let go of, like, even like me just choosing to, you know, just be like, oh yeah, let me be single, because I really 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 liked being a girlfriend. Like my friends know, I was just like, yeah, I like being a girlfriend, this is where I belong, I'm a lover girl, you know. But I feel like just just letting go, because I had to let go of a whole identity, is something that we all need to learn. And yeah, those are some of the things that I wish I knew earlier. I wish someone taught me. I wish someone taught me like formulas, or someone taught me that you would go through this and this is what you would need. It's been a beautiful journey, just learning myself. I feel like every day I wake up and I'm just like, okay, this is actually quite impressive. Like the life that you are leading is quite impressive. And also just learning that I I have found ways to deal with, you know, like my pain. Like let's say like we have something beautiful like Unpack. I feel like it's going to be like a beautiful corner on the internet where we just come and like listen and like share. And I don't want us to dwell on the sadness. I feel like this is where I tell you guys that it's just a journey, and I wanted to take you guys with me until now this point where I'm telling you things get better, you get to understand yourself, you get to breathe easily, you get to feel happiness in your belly, you know, and you get to find some sort of independence without having to relate your identity with people, you know. And yeah, trust the process, and the possibilities are endless. Thank you so much for tuning in. I cannot wait for season 2, because apparently there's gonna be a season 2. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't even have said that, but the whole idea is to have a build up, and have such conversations, you know, with people, and share them, you know, with you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, follow us on Spotify, share this podcast with someone who might need it, and if you haven't watched the other episodes, please go again and watch. Thank you so much for tuning in. Till the next time you see me. Bye bye.